Hi everybody, Adam Shaffron here from Flying Fox Fruits, and today I have a high quality camera and some editing hopefully. So hopefully this could be a good video that will have some decent quality. I want to thank people for sticking with me through some of these streams where the quality is so low. Right now we're standing next to a red Jaboticaba. I'm in the greenhouse. This tree's about 15 years old, more or less, and could probably stay in this greenhouse pretty much forever. You got to think it fruits on the old wood, so if it tries to grow up and hit the ceiling, we can cut it back. The reason that I'm here today talking about the Jaboticabas is I want to talk about the hybrids a little bit. This one is supposedly a hybrid of cauliflora, Plinia cauliflora, and the white Jaboticaba, Plinia ariana. And this is the first hybrid that I heard about. And I've been growing this one since like 2008 or 9, I want to say. And I was really excited to get it when I first heard about it. It was at Larry Schatzer's house, and he got it from a guy that got it from Brazil and brought it here probably after the year 2000. It had been in Florida at least for, at least I'm thinking 10 years before I got it. So a Brazilian guy brought it here probably from seed. It fruits really quick from seed. Very popular in Brazil because it takes less time to fruit than Sabra. So, but this is an old, trustworthy variety that is a hybrid. Fast fruiting, thin skin, multiple crops per year. And I've got some hybrids that I'm working on right now that are hybrids of this, with other varieties, and some hybrids that don't even have the red in it at all. And I'm going to try to talk about those and some other hybrids right now. This right here is actually a hybrid of the red hybrid. It's called Escarlet. And so the red Jaboticaba is popular already in Brazil. And this one is starting to, gain some popularity right behind it. It's a newer hybrid that they say is the red Jaboticaba crossed back to the white. So they call that back crossing, when you take an existing hybrid and breed it back to one of the parents. So this is a hybrid of the Plinia cauliflora and the Ariana, bred back to the Ariana again. People say it makes a sweeter fruit. It fruits earlier than the red Jaboticaba, but in my experience, it just depends on who's growing it. This one took probably 6 or 7 years to finally fruit. And in my experience, it's a little more sensitive to pH than the red Jaboticaba. But it's an excellent tree, and this is another hybrid. And this one's been around for some years now. I think at least over 15 years. I could be wrong about that, but I'm thinking over 15 years this has been around. And it's Escarlet, Escarlate, and you probably pronounce it different than that. Beat me up on Forvo, guys. Portuguese, call me out. That's another Scarlet. That's the seed. That's the seed that came out of it. Right now, I'm standing by the Grimmel, and this is a light crop. It usually has a better crop, but this is one of the components that I'm using for breeding with and trying to select new hybrids. So this is a Grimmel Jaboticaba. It was introduced into the United States by Adolf Grimmel. He lived in the Keys. It's a really good variety. Fruits quick from seed in about 5 to 7 years. Makes a big fruit with a nice thick gelatinous pulp and a thick skin. Small seed. Fruits several times per year. Can take a lot of heat. Doesn't like to be flooded forever, but it can take flooding. And it likes good air circulation. It doesn't like, too humid, and the leaves and the fruit might get rust, but it's just a cosmetic issue. But it's a really good candidate for breeding. And I've had these trees probably now, I don't know, 10 years, and they're probably going on 15, 20 years old. They're starting to hit the ceiling. They're in 30-gallon pots, but they've handled so much abuse. And eventually I will probably plant them out. But I have been hand pollinating and cross pollinating to get new hybrids of this Plinia. And it's called Grimmel in United States. It hasn't got an official name like Plinia SP or whatever. They call it Plinia SP, and in Brazil it's Peluda de Alagoas. And in America we call it Grimmel. In Australia they call it large leaf. Anyway, that's that. But that's the Anomaly, and it's a really small, precocious seedling that I selected that doesn't really need much introduction, but I've been using this as a component for breeding with the Grimmel. And I've got a couple seedlings that look like they could be crosses of this. So this is just nice because it always has flowers. It's a fickle little tree. You know, it's a slow grower. Once it's grafted, it's a lot easier to grow, but the seedlings when you plant them are hard to keep happy in my experience. But grafted, if you walk over here, I'll show you a couple grafted. See how they flower real nice. I got several of them doing that actually. Let's see if we can show you one more. I'm trying not to get your camera wet, but let's tiptoe over this one. Look at any more. That one's got flowers, but it's hard to show. Look at this. This is actually a seedling. This is a seedling of the mother tree, and look at it's got all the, kind of hard to see, but there's flowers all along, and even down further if we travel down the trunk there's some activity way down at the base. The lighting's probably poor, but this seedling's probably 4 years old by now, and it's been fruiting a year already. This is an interesting seedling. And then I've got a So this is a hybrid that was not purposely created. This is a hybrid that was just selected from planting a bunch of seeds. I had Grimmels, I had Reds fruiting and flowering together. And this is one that I named after John Kimber because I got my Grimmels, my fruiting Grimmels I got from John Kimber years ago. I bought them as seedlings. And I just saved this seedling aside because it was interesting looking, and years later it started to fruit, and it's a striking resemblance of the Grimmel and the Red. And you know, I guess I haven't had it genetically tested, but based on my professional experience, based on the flavor of the fruit, it's got a richer flavor than the Red. It's a good tree. This one's got a lot of potential. It's precocious. It fruited from seed in like 4 years. It would be taller than this. It would be about that tall if I hadn't pruned it, but it is nice and bushy. So it's a cool tree. And then we got one more over here. So this tree right here is Mozie's hybrid, and it's a hybrid of the Grimmel and the Red again. That's what I think. It's a sibling of the Kimber, okay? And this one makes a nice big fruit. It's a lot like the other one, but the fruit is, you know, I haven't got to taste as many fruit on this, but it's looking really cool. It's got a much more upright, sprawling habit. Cool tree. I mean, I wish I had one. So eventually I'd like to start propagating this, but these are some of the hybrids that were selected just by chance. But I've got some that I've tried to breed. I'm going to show you one or two and then we'll cut the video. Thank you for watching. We got a little something here to show you. first I'll show this little Anomaly seedling. This is a seedling of the Anomaly, and this is not typical, but look at the height on my hand. You know, this is about, I'd say, 10 inches tall, 15 inches wide, and there's flowers on this backside. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a seedling. It's probably 3-4 years old, but there's actually flowers down there and up there, and it hasn't set fruit yet. But this is the smallest seedling I've ever seen put flowers on. That's kind of incredible. This right here, now look at the leaf on this, is one that I selected as a Grimmel Anomaly hybrid. And look at the leaf on that. If that doesn't strike you as something different, something unique, something I can take to the kids and say, we hadn't seen this at Walmart yet. Look at that. And then the bark even. I'll be gee golly. It's look at the moss at the bottom. I had to sprinkle that on straight from China. I bought it. All right, but that's one, and this is actually its sibling, and it doesn't look as striking and interesting, but these two are siblings when I actually cross-pollinated purposely with Grimmel on an Anomaly tree. But this one right here screams to me, That's exciting stuff, guys. Thinking of anything else I could tell you before this video ends. I'm really happy you're here. Check for me on eBay. Big shout out to my brother Evan for filming. Appreciate you guys. Grow more of the Jaboticabas. Look for me. Thank you. Like and sub.